All right, everyone. Welcome back to the 16th episode of the Grace Notes podcast. I'm Rocky.
I'm Josh.
And I'm David.
This is a podcast where we talk about our love and our faith in Jesus Christ and his process of sanctification in and through us. And we're all three musicians, right? So we also talk about how he's moving in the music within our lives and the things that we do.
In the notes section.
In the notes section. That's right. We call it notes. In the first section, we call Grace. Therefore, you get Grace Notes. We'll see you next week. I'm kidding. Anyways, guys, it's great to be back here in the recording studio with y'all.
We back.
I feel like it's been a while, but it's been a week.
It has been a week, exactly, right?
Week, though, to be fair.
It has been a long week. Guys, last time we talked to you, you had just finished the semester.
Yep.
How are things going post-school time?
Post-school time, there's a lot of really awesome things happening. Mm-hmm. New job, new endeavors, all the things.
Yep.
We're doing good.
Yep.
David, how are you doing, roommate?
Very similar. New job. Start that this week. Lots of relaxing. Finish audition video, which was nice. So, yeah, the past few days have been mostly... The past, 6 days, I guess, was mostly just running. And I did a cycle the other day, which was nice. So, been good.
And I, too, got a new job. No, my job's the same. But we are counting down as of the time of this recording, which is Tuesday, before it comes out on Friday, hopefully. I have today's Tuesday, right?
Today's Tuesday.
That's what kind of week it's been so far. We have 3 days remaining with students and 2 days after that.
That's wild.
So by the time you hear this, I will be celebrating the end of the lasts for all the students in classes. So we will be finishing that out in Music Land. So kind of closing out the school year. So pretty crazy. And if this comes out late, like last week's episode, it will have already happened. But we're hoping to have it ready to go. I say it's my fault. It was all my fault last week, guys. So if you were looking for it on Friday, if you were looking for it on Friday, it wasn't there. I woke up Saturday morning early and did it. I've had a lot of things going on, and the Lord has provided clarity this week. It's been really good to see him work, which I think is a great segue into our Grace section. And if you're wondering how it's going to go, we're not in a new book club yet. I know you're missing the really cringy transitions into book club. They're going to come back eventually. But this week we are putting in roundtable discussion again, and that's going to be our middle section. We're going to be talking about a specific question and kind of just getting our responses to it. And if you have thoughts on the roundtable when we get there, or any part of the podcast, please leave a comment somewhere we could see it. If you're listening I almost said Facebook. If you're listening on YouTube, leave a comment there. If you're listening on Spotify, there's now a place to comment. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, I'm not sure you can comment.
I don't think yet.
But you can rate us.
Rate us,
Rate us like 5 stars or whatever the highest is, if you liked it. Okay? So, Grace section. Who would like to go first? We always ask 2 questions, and they are... What is one way God has moved in your life this week? And what is one thing God has been teaching / showing you this week?
I can go first.
All right, Josh.
All right. So, first question. What is one way God moved in your life this week? I put that he kept me strong through my run for, officially as of today, my shortest 5K run ever. Woo! Yes, it has happened. My last 5K was 45 minutes, and the one I did today was 41 minutes and 13 seconds.
We're going to be sub 40 soon.
We're going to be sub 40 soon if all goes according to plan. I was on a set plan, and the app won't let me continue it unless I pay a number more than $100 worth of subscription. So David is going to help me in helping solidify my plan more. So that's what's going to happen there. So God has been giving me motivation to do that. And also just generally through also my eating habits and trying to do groceries. The motivation to not eat fast food all the time is at an all-time high. We're planning on keeping it that way. I was literally freaking out about bagels earlier. David can attest to it. This is the stage we're at right now. And also, bachelor party that I talked about last episode. Huge success. We had a lot of fun. And there was a breakfast Sunday morning that a couple of guys, including myself, went to, and we started having a whole Bible conversation at that time too, which was a lot of fun. And in that group was Cody, who I mentioned last week, who isn't a believer per se, but he was very receptive to the conversation. Hopefully things continue to move in the right direction in his spiritual life. And then the second question, what is one thing God has been teaching / showing you this week? I have started a Bible project class a little recently.
So not like
Not very.
later
Not a
recently.
Not a lot recently.
But like just a little bit.
just a little bit.
Just the right amount.
And it's about the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew 5.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yes.
Good one.
So the first class was talking about this title that Jesus has as a philosopher. And the first time I heard that, I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But then I thought, I've never really thought about him in that way, and how his whole set goal was to teach the principles of life and help people find like their true meaning through him. And it's like, that's just a really cool thing. And seeing how people like illustrated him and how similar he was depicted to Moses, like uncanny similarities. Really cool to see, and it like kind of like connecting the dots moment. Really cool stuff. And another thing that he's been teaching me throughout this week is that his timing will be, and it forever is, perfect. I've been struggling with a couple different things in terms of just stuff in the music field, stuff outside the music field, and just general timing of things. I'm like, I want this to be this way, but then the Lord kind of provides something new in his timing, and then I think, oh, yeah, that all makes sense. Right. So he's been humbling me and showing me that his timing is perfect and always will be. That is my grace section for this week.
Sweet. I'll hop in.
All
right. So, for me, what is one way God has moved in my life this week? God, David, you've been an elementary music teacher before.
Got a shirt on.
You got the shirt on right now. Audio only podcast. And there's usually that one class that you're like kind of sweating because there's a lot of behavior problems.
Yes. One grade.
One grade or one class or a certain day during the week. Well, I got there earlier in the week, and I remember praying earlier on in the day. I was like, Lord, just please let thy will be done. Bless what happens in here and just let it go smoothly, against everything in my body saying that it's probably not. I was like, just let it go smoothly. Let it be the way you want it to be. And we had, certain people went home earlier that day, and everybody else, like, we accomplished a lot for that particular class, and we learned and we had a good time, and I wasn't yelling over people, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is teaching. I had kind of forgotten what that was like.
Right.
And so that was a blessing that he definitely, that's one way he moved in my life this week. And let's see, what else do I have here? Yeah, progress and rest. I want to talk about this just simply because there's just been, I don't know, I feel like I've been on this editing palooza and like trying to maximize my productiveness, probably at like a deficit to me, like just like chilling. Mm-hmm. And the Lord just kind of came in this week and like does what he takes the fog and just cleared it. It's like hard for me to even describe, but he just cleared it all and was like, remember on Sunday they were talking about how people are inefficient. Did we talk about that on Sunday? Oh yeah. Oh, Josh wasn't here. Sorry, I was looking for like a Josh nod, and like David was like, yeah. Wait, I got it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's right. So Pastor Josh did talk about people being inefficient and God working through people. So it's often not as efficient as we would like it to be, but it's still the Lord's work.
Yep.
And like it really spoke to me, not only just in terms of like it's something he said before, but now even more so looking at how like I want to accomplish all of these things that I deem as what I should be doing, whether it be for my family or just to get a project out that I've been working on just as like my, hobby or whatever. And he was just like, it doesn't have to be this calculated thing where it's all done before you go on your vacation for your, 3-year anniversary with your wife. It's okay. And if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And if it's not, it'll come out when it's ready. And, it's nice. It was just a nice clear of the fog. So that was very nice. And then what is one thing God has been teaching / showing me this week? he's been showing me little ways that I still worship control, I think. I mean, coming from like, I'm definitely better off. Like, we're all a work in progress. I think this podcast has been proof of that. And hopefully we've been authentic so people can understand that we're all works in progress. But there are little ways, like when I was a band director or right before I got married or right at the beginning of marriage, like I didn't realize how much I valued and worshiped control over my situations. The Lord had to take me out of all of my comfort zones, move me to Georgia, like we talked about, and how awesome that was last week. But I didn't realize it fully in it or right before it as I was thinking about it. So he's been showing me like in my marriage, just life, just little ways that I'm still holding on to control. And like, he's like, I'm the Lord of the universe. I got this, and you can let go. Or whether it be with something with my wife where he's like, the thing that you're trying to control is not a big deal. You might think you're doing things for either the right reason or for whatever, but there's just, you can let go of this little tiny thing and like, you don't need to worry about it. It's not really as big a deal as you think. And so that's been a nice reminder. It's been comforting, but while also revealing parts of myself where I go, yeah, I'm acknowledging that little thing that may not have been anything, that's definitely little bits of control still wanting to surface itself. So being able to say that and admit that to myself, and as he told me it and talked to me about it and had me dwell on it, and just being able to be aware of it, I think, and seek to change that in every little way possible. And let's see. I think the last thing about that I'll say is just, worry about that sort of fight today, like we talked about when we were reading Pastor Josh's book. Today, not worry about tomorrow. Just fight sin today. Fight worship and control today.
Yep.
And just do that every day and stay humble. Because either he's going to humble you, or you can still fight to stay humble and seek his will. And eventually, it'll all point to him and his glory anyway. So that is what he's been working out in my life this week. It's been awesome.
Yep, that worship of control thing, I think for a lot of men too, I think it's a very easy thing to struggle with, because whether it be a conversation or something like, yes.
Someone did not plug in their phone. That was me plugging in my laptop. Sorry, having PTSD from episode 3.
There's a YouTube comment on that video and it says like, who charging their phone?
And no one, it's the computer.
Yeah. Anyway, that idea of worship of control, I think that's something that either men are extremely aware of or they're not aware of at all. Like for me, I think there's parts of my life where I also want some control, right? Whether it's the littlest thing ever or I want all the control in the world. I think that's a very valid thing that a lot of men struggle with. So I'm really glad that you brought that up, because I have a feeling that a lot of men who are listening to this would also relate to that too.
Yeah. And I think there's a balance too with like knowing when you're worshiping control versus knowing when you're like standing under and then in kingdom authority for something that the Lord is for. I think there's a difference. And it really requires you to look at your heart and see digging deep. And sometimes it's not revealed to you at the start. Sometimes you go on and you go, oh, yeah, there is a little bit of that in there. And while I might have noble intentions with X, Y, or Z, I should really be working on whatever it is. So it's just seeking him. He's always revealing new ways to, again, continue to sanctify us so that the holier we are and the more he continues to sanctify us, the more he will use us, working in us to work through us. And it's just beautiful to see that process of him continually cleansing us more and more and more. And doing it slowly, because I think if we had all of our sin brought to the surface at one time, like being super hyper aware of it, I think it would. I mean, I don't think a human could handle it.
I don't think so either.
A mere mortal that isn't both human and God. Anyways, I could go on about Jesus. He's amazing, but just the weight of all of your sin on one man, but also God. Like, can we just fathom that for a second?
Yeah.
Like, the weight of just one or two of my sins can like really get me in a funk. So
it puts things into perspective.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also, my computer sounds like it's about to take off the runway.
It's a rocket right
We're
now.
missing a countdown.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blasting off to David.
What a transition. All right.
I try really hard.
So what has God been moving into my life this week? And it's also running related for me. I just showing the importance of just relaxing and stretching, not when you're not running. And that's all just a matter of focusing on patience, because stretching is just you're doing it, and it doesn't feel like you're working anything that's right, but you are, and it's by yourself, and typically you're not listening to anything, or you can be, but it's pretty boring most of the time. And so he's moving in my life to where like I can appreciate the smaller things like that now, and just appreciate being able to be in a quiet space, even if it's through stretching, through a painful experience, through stretching sometimes. But doing that with nothing in my ears, or not trying to not watch a video while doing it or something like that, and actually try to spend 60 seconds on each muscle group that I'm stretching or whatever what needs to be. And it's shown through my running, because last week my hip flexors were hurting quite a bit after my interval session last week. And I did morning and night stretching for a couple of days. And then by the time my hill run came to today, or even by the time I rode a bike yesterday, it was already healed. And so it's just like actually having the summer to really learn how to focus on that, and having the time because it's summer break to focus on stuff like that. Not only going to make me more flexible, but it's also going to help me just heal faster in every workout I do.
Yeah.
So.
When I was at cadets, we had stretch block every day.
Yeah.
And I remember doing like the most strenuous workouts of my life, and then like coming home, and now it's like 10 years later, and I'm like not stretching every day.
Yeah.
And I like run, and I'm like, well, why do I hurt? It's not just because I'm getting older. It's because I'm not stretching every day.
Yeah,
Yep.
I did my run today. And I didn't stretch immediately after getting back, and Dave was like, "You need to stretch," and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make breakfast, and I'll be fine." And I was like, "I should have stretched."
Does stretching prevent? I don't know. Just asking for a friend. Cramps while doing a.
Sounds like you have experience in that, right?
Yeah, maybe. If you aren't a regular listener that listens past the outro, you should start doing that for some little outtakes.
Easter eggs,
if you will. Yeah.
Even though it's May.
It's gone up. It already is May.
No,
It's all right.
So yeah, it's just simple little things like that to help improve my body and help improve my running and my fitness even more, and also translating to where I can spend that time to talk to God and focus and just center my mind to where it's not focusing on so many things. What he's been teaching me this week. So I recently came across this YouTube channel. He is the Impact Video Ministries, and he is a Christian YouTuber that does animations, like stick figure animation videos. And a lot of his videos are really, really good, but one came out early last week, and it was talking about how to dig into the root of sin and how to help the surface level sin that we're trying to stop every day by saying, like, oh, I need to talk to people about it. Oh, I need to pray to God about it. Oh, I need to read the Bible about it. But how to go even further than that and dig to the root of that sin. And he was talking about how the root of that is pride in every single thing. Because even reading the Bible, he was saying that even reading the Bible and even praying to God, you can say, like, his example was, I'm reading the Bible today. I prayed to God today, so I must be good. When I still kind of prideful, because it's on you and not on God.
Yeah.
And so trying to diminish that first, and then helping diminish everything else as you talk through today. And so just changing that whole perspective on pride, making it to where even the very good things that we do every single day could still be prideful. And it's just a matter of if it's me, and not focusing on God whenever you do it.
100%. I think that ties in really well. We haven't talked about this before, but it ties in really well with, what we were talking about earlier with little things that might seem like they're for the right reason.
Yep.
But in reality, if you allow the Lord to peel back the onion a little bit and get to the root of it, it's not always that way.
It's very easy.
Or even if it's like part of it that isn't. Sorry, Josh, didn't stop you.
You're good. I was just saying, it's very easy to let yourself get in the way.
Yeah, 100%. Because think about it. When we're growing up, life seems to be all about us, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about it. Like, when you are born, you're immediately like, me, I'm hungry, I'm hurt, I'm whatever. Yeah. I have teeth coming in. I need something in my mouth right now. Like, I'm upset. Like, and then, our parents are taking care of us. And, as we grow up, if we had great parents, which I believe we did, they supported us in what we were doing. They were always sacrificing, whether we knew it or not, to take us to band practice or, karate or whatever. Mm. And I think, we're just selfish in general. I think, like, just as the human race. I don't think I'm dropping any like hot takes. Like, no. I think in our sinful nature, we are selfish, and I have to apologize to my wife all the time. Like, honey, I'm selfish, and sometimes I'm so sorry, and I love you. Please help continue to point that out. And the reverse will be true too. She will apologize for. She's like, I know I'm selfish too, so she'll say that. It's just acknowledging that and being able to recognize it. Is huge, and I think the awareness of it, like we talked about before, is
and I think factor. just the awareness that even how you say those good things, like reading the Bible and praying, like bragging to your friends, like, oh, I read the Bible today and like all week and stuff like that. That's kind of prideful because you're bragging about how you did it.
True.
And you're not saying, oh, God got me to read the Bible this week or whatnot. So
exactly, because our best. Is not enough.
Yeah.
That's why we needed Jesus.
Yep. And any desire that we have to do those things like reading the Bible and all the things like that, they come from him anyway, right? So when we put ourselves in the forefront and say that it's our thing, that's where that pride comes into play.
Yep.
So yeah, great video. Encourage it. If you just watch most of his videos, you'll find it. So
sweet. Well, I guess that means it's time for Trivia! All right. So who's asking the trivia questions this week? I was trying to make you panic. Yeah, it's me. I'm doing it. I wanted to see how long you guys are like, wait, what? Are we supposed to have one prepared? No, I have already. All right. So you have two choices of question, and I blew them up in my notes app this time, so hopefully I can read them better. All right. Sorry, that's like an old person saying for it. Made larger. I clicked zoom. All right. Multiple times. It's probably because my screen's off to like one. I'm only reading it with one eye. Okay. So, would you rather have a question about space and science or a question about carrots?
Carrots,
please.
Carrots. Okay. Carrots. You're going to get them at some point. So, carrots are first. All right. So, this is a two-part question. You can get two possible points. There's a bonus point. All right. By the way, in case you're wondering and you're listening at home, it is tied at 2-2. All right. The iconic orange color of modern carrots wasn't an accident. It was a political statement. In the 17th century, Dutch growers crossbred yellow and red carrots to cultivate a bright orange variety. Which royal ruling family were they trying to honor with this new vegetable?
What was the second part of the question?
Well, that's the first part. Okay. The second part is before what century were there no orange carrots? It was just red and yellow. You can be like, it was the 1900s. It was the 800s. Like, I need you to put down a number. So again, part one, what... Well, I'm trying to find it. Which royal ruling family were they trying to honor with this new orange vegetable? And at what point, basically, which century prior to this century, did orange carrots not exist, in which only yellow and red did. I love this. Good luck. Would have been easier if I had said, what 2 carrots crossbred to make orange carrots? That would have been the easier question. All right. And while they ponder, answers will be at the end as always, and we'll be right back after this break. All right, everybody, welcome back. We are into the roundtable section. All right, and that was some lovely theme music by our lovely composer in-house, Josh Wood. That's him. Wood. Now you need your own. Wood.
I'll sample that.
Sample that.
You see the audio file tonight, I will sample it.
It's going to be sampled. Okay, so roundtable, we used to do it at the beginning of episodes a while back. We realized it was a great discussion, but it also started to take up more time than which is always fine. We just felt like we wanted to be more respectful of your time. So we are now having it here in this middle section while we don't have a book club. And we're going to try to ask a question each week that we do it, that we have roundtable, and we'll give you our discussion and thoughts about it. And feel free to join us in the comments like we mentioned earlier. So the question for this week: what do you think the most common misconception about Christianity is to non-believers around you? Whenever you're ready.
It's a very good question.
Mm-hmm. It is a very good question.
Do you want to have thoughts first?
I guess I can go with my thoughts first.
Go for it.
Forget it. So one that has come up in my life a lot, and just from talking to people at undergrad and in different colleges and different conversations in general, is just not only that they see Christians as just a bunch of rule followers and that they all do the same thing and stuff like that, or they don't know how to have fun because they have all these rules they follow and stuff like that. They don't go out to parties and all that stuff. And not only that, but also that some of the rules and the sayings and the teachings we follow are also in different teachings in different religions. And so because of that, they choose the other religion because they don't have to choose the faith part of Christianity. And they just choose the other religion because it's all about them. And it's all about self-building and all about building the perfect self they can. Whereas Christianity is about the faith more than what it is about the morals that they follow as well. So that's the one I've heard. I'm not sure if y'all have heard of that, both of those a couple times, or
I've sort of heard that kind of passed around.
Yeah.
I think, I've seen a lot of good arguments online for like, how do we know what moral good is anyway?
Yeah,
right. And people say, well, why shouldn't I go down the street and murder somebody?
Yep.
But why? But why? And like you continue that. And
Right.
I think without an absolute something outside of ourselves to point to what is good and what isn't, like there's no way we could define that for ourselves.
Yeah.
Right.
I think
like treating your neighbor like you would want to be treated. Like that's a Christian morale, and it's also a worldly morale. Like it's both. They're both talked and both treated like they.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks it's a good thing, no matter what. It's just a matter of that Christians, we believe it because it's what God truly says for us to do.
I think if you do something long enough, like we talked about last week, as we kind of talked about our testimonies, like we all seem to be like in that whole rule follower phase, probably at some point where you're like, I'm doing it because I'm supposed to be doing X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
And that could be for any habit. I'm running because I know I'm supposed to run to get ready for this race. I know I'm supposed to practice my instrument because I've got a playing test on Friday. Or, I should probably get my taxes done before, tax day. Like all of those things. Just to avoid a consequence or pride so we can say that we've done it. Whereas if you're really looking at it, you make a good point. Faith is the central part. I mean, if you look at what Paul says in Romans, I believe, that, Abraham, his faith in the fact that he would have a son in his old age and believed God was counted to him as righteousness. This was before the law. In the same way that our faith in Jesus and the fact that he rose, believing that he rose from the dead and believing in that, like there's no self in that. I would hope that if people are like, yes, Jesus rose from the dead, and pride and like it's kind of it doesn't really work. And believing in that is counted to us as righteousness. It's all about what he did, not what we can do for him. And not like believing in him hopefully isn't a social status for people, or saying they believe in him isn't just a social status.
Yeah, I think there's a distinction between knowing that he died for us and believing that he died for us. Like you can learn the facts.
It's true. I mean, even the demons know of him, know his name, know things about him.
Kind of going along with that, like I ran across this one YouTube video of a guy invited people to a Bible study he was trying to start in a random city, one of those videos. And he said his two questions were, would you mind being in, or us filming you for a couple questions? And they're like, sure, why not? And like the second one was, we're talking about the video and our faith. And as soon as he said faith, a lot of people said, oh no, I'm good, thank you. And they wouldn't talk to him. But so they know exactly what the faith entails. They just are prideful about it and don't want to talk about it because they want to talk about themselves.
Yeah. Or I feel like with a lot, like for that kind of response, I feel like a lot of people perceive something like that and they kind of get defensive. And it's like, oh, so was what I already believe wrong? You know, or is there something else I have to learn? Or am I, you know, it's kind of going back to what I was talking about with Cody last week about like, people have been telling me to go to church, and is it because I'm a bad person? Is it because that I'm wrong in what I'm doing? It's like, well, no, that's not the point.
Going back to my misconception of rule followers, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's we have we feel such a way about what we believe, and we feel so good about it, and it has changed us so much, and we want to help people realize the life-changing power that the gospel has, especially to those who have no idea about it, and they're just being upfront, heading down a path that is leading to destruction.
Yeah, 100%. And I think there have been a lot of people that are like, I don't even say small minorities. There's just been people within the Christian faith that are bad actors.
Yeah,
that people have taken, seen because it makes the news or is popular or is the unchristian Christian view, and they peg that as that's what Christianity is. And so when they see you on the street or you talk about it, they automatically have uploaded that encyclopedia of what a Christian is into their brains, and they've already debunked everything that you have to say. And I think that reminds me of something. Pastor Josh is amazing. But Jesus is even more amazing, and that is that we don't have to convince people of how truthful and awesome the Bible is. We just have to like present it to them and let Jesus do the prove to them.
True.
Like we just have to say we trust and follow Jesus. Jesus is amazing. Let Jesus and the Holy Spirit guide them through that experience. Yes, be there for people that ask you those questions that are meaningful and honest, but you don't have to feel like that weight is on you to solve all of like get a chalkboard out and have the formula ready to prove why the Bible is legitimate. Right? That's not necessarily our jobs. Like obviously study doctrine, study all the truths and learn, study Hebrew poetry. I think it's super rad, but like be a Bible nerd, but you that's still, if you just have that information, again, it's just knowing, like the demons know.
Yeah.
There's still the faith component of it.
Yeah, it's not about being a salesperson with the gospel.
Yeah.
It's about trusting the Lord to speak through you in those situations. Because those people who come off salesperson-y are likely the people asking the questions that lead to people answering with, oh, I'm not interested. You know? Because it's like, oh, do you want to buy this thing that I'm selling? It's like, but it's
chocolate. I'm kidding.
Yeah, right. Well, here's the thing. It's like, it's the news of Jesus.
Yeah.
Right. And going back to that whole thing of pride, I feel like sometimes when we are in that space of like, oh, I get to share this news and help someone, It's like, okay, you did, but remember, you are a vessel for the Lord,
Yeah.
right? He's doing the work, and you're being used by Him to do the thing, right? It's very easy for pride to kind of slip in that way.
Yeah. We're like a telephone.
Yeah.
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 Not even a fancy smartphone. Like we're a rotary walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a part in the book about like
the
walkie-talkie
things
with
that you like have on your ear and it goes all the way with the line, the comb.
the cups you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're like can. We're like a a can.
There was a name for that, I thought.
There is. I can't remember.
Can phone. No, string can. You guys probably too young if you're listening to this to know what any of that is. But yes, because sound. Anyways, musician facts. You can have sound travel through string and you can hear people. It's a great time. But yeah, back to what you were saying. The walkie-talkie bit was, when we're talking about like pray, we were talking about prayer instead of it being like this like genie in a bottle kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like we're on the front lines and we are radioing back to command saying
That's right.
We need X, Y, or Z. That was a great way to frame that.
Yeah, and going back to like people already put in that misconception on us when we're about to go talk to them and not confront them, but just talk to them about God and stuff like that. That brought to me the story of Moses confronting Pharaoh, right? And God purposely did it. He purposely stopped Pharaoh's heart from listening to Moses, and it eventually led to Moses being able to get Israel out of Egypt. So it in his timing, those people will hear it. It's just a matter of when the Lord wants their hearts to be open to hear it.
Right.
Yeah. And so when we get to the notes section, I'm going to talk about a conversation I had with a coworker that didn't go in my mind. If I would have planned it, I could have done more, I felt like. But knowing that, again, what you just said, like the Lord is still working through all of that. I don't have to feel like that weight is on my shoulders to be like, obviously listen to what he's saying, but don't feel like I have to be perfect in how I talk or name drop the Lord. And I think that's refreshing.
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, because we, back to the Sermon on the Mount that you were talking about. Like, I specifically remember writing in my Bible around a lot of the things he was asking us to do in Sermon on the Mount, or the people around and also us. And you go, I could see myself doing that first part. And then you get further down in the same thing. It's like, oh, well, that's kind of hard. And then you get down and it's like, oh, I can't do that. There's no hope. And you go, yes, that's the point. You need Jesus. You need the Holy Spirit. You need God to be able to move in your heart to have any hope of making that a reality.
Right. Can I segue into my thought?
Segue away.
Okay, cool. Because some of what you said kind of resonates with what I was thinking.
Perfect.
So just to repeat the question, what do you think the most common misconception about Christianity is to non-believers around you? Here's my thought. I think people assume that we're perfect in everything that we do.
Yeah.
That's, I think, one of the biggest misconceptions. Because when we do slip up, or like, let's say I come off rudely to someone, or I say something that, maybe I shouldn't have said, they kind of point the finger and they're like, but you're a Christian. Why did you say that?
Yep.
And it's like, just because, we have that faith does not mean that we are saying we are perfect. We are actually stating that we are a work in progress through Christ. And it's been frustrating because like I'll slip up on various things. And I've had people in the past just kind of been like, you're better than this, and they'll kind of come at it from like a critical point of view rather than like a accountability point of view. I think those are two different things. But what are your thoughts on that?
I would say that, again, these are, non-believers around us. And I think that thought is, okay, well, God is perfect. And because Christians say that we have God, then we are perfect and we feel like we know everything.
Yeah.
And then therefore we can't make mistakes. It's impossible. And we just live our lives going around like we can't make mistakes. And like, sure, there are bad actors that act that way. They don't have the full picture, right? But I think the people, again, back to the non-believer portion of this, I think the people that, like, if they knew the word of the Lord, if they knew why we needed Jesus to do what he did and continues to do, and through the Holy Spirit, then it would be really, really, I guess, obvious. Like, yeah, we're imperfect. We're seeking to be blameless. I remember that was a big mind shift change for me when studying the Titus 10, when we got to the part about being blameless. And I thought that just meant perfect, another word for like no blame. But instead of going, it's someone that makes those mistakes still, because we're living in a sinful world and we're still sinful, but is able to make those things right or seek to make them right. So that if after an event happened that you had with someone, you're able to, no one could say anything bad about you.
Right.
In regard to how, like, in a theoretical court, right? Like, you're like, well, this person called me, I don't know, stupid, or I don't know. I'm just trying to think of an imaginary insult. Oh, this person called me stupid. Well, no, a few days later, they came back and really apologized, and they really told me a lot of ways that I was smart and that they were absolutely wrong for saying those things. So you can't really go and hold that over their head in a lot of ways. So I think that there's a lot of people that won't be that vulnerable with people, and so they just have that misconception because we think perfect God, perfect people, higher, holier than thou. When really, I think also a lot of ways churches over, especially in the southern realm that don't have as much good doctrine teaching, have basically said, get it together and come to church, versus come to church and then you can get it together.
Right.
And it's not you getting it together. It's Christ working in and through you, and your life then from the inside out changes. And I think that has been a huge misconception that people feel like at church we just want the perfect people.
Oh, that's good.
And I think even Jesus talked about this, right?
Yeah,
he said, I did not come for I'm going to look this up here in a second, but he was talking about he didn't come for the people that were already like there and clean. I don't know the exact wording because I'm blanking on it right now, but he came for the sinner. He came for the people that like needed to be washed and cleansed. Does that make sense? I'm going to look that up so it makes way more sense, because again, I'm imperfect and I don't have this perfectly memorized, but he had it enough in my mind to go, you should say something about it. So I'm going to look that up here in a minute. But yeah, church doesn't need perfect people. There's not a single perfect person in the church.
Yep.
Not a single one. Not even the pastor. That's why we go. It's a place for it was a physician. I believe that was the reference Jesus may have made, where it's like a person that is well does not need a physician. Sick people do.
Yeah.
I'll look up where that's at in a minute. But yeah, that's you're hearing my thoughts in real time. But that's pretty much it. Is like we're a bunch of sick people that come together and we are celebrating when we worship and sing our Savior, who is our great physician, who continually renews us and continues to sanctify us, and it won't be done until we are glorified.
Yeah.
Right? Until we are passed on from this world, and we go to heaven, and then heaven comes here, and we're here in bodily form.
Yeah.
Heaven's a holding place before we can come back here, and it's new earth, and like it's hard to fathom that,
Yeah.
Yep.
I think being reminded of how that sanctification process works is essential if you are in that position where, let's say, something happens that you know what you did wasn't right, and then someone who is a non-believer calls you out on it. Like, I think kind of remembering the whole process of sanctification is reassuring in that time, because being transparent, usually before when I'd make mistakes, I kind of beat myself up over it over and over again, and then in that process I would hurt myself and then forget to apologize for doing the thing.
Yep.
So then both people are hurt, and it's like that's not what we're looking for.
It feels like a very musician thing too. I hate to bring up can we just
Yes.
talk about
Yeah.
we're musicians. We're going to talk about the conservatory methods of teaching. So and why it doesn't lend itself well to this. Like I remember my first repertoire, one of my first repertoire classes playing in it. Which is like, I don't know, what do you guys call those here?
Studio class?
Studio. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so it's where all of one instrument for our listeners I guess voice does it too, get together and they play for each other or sing for each other or perform for each other. And I don't know about y'all, but growing up, I thought every time I got up to perform in front of people, it needed to be perfect.
Yeah.
Unless it was like my mom and dad and I was showing them something, it was in progress. But every time you get to perform, it's got to be ready. Otherwise, you're a failure.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a revelation to me that I could get up in front of people in studio, repertoire, whatever you want to call it, class. And they say, hey, just share whatever you're working on.
Mm-hmm.
It's a work in progress. We can give you some feedback and you don't need to freak out about it.
Yep.
Was I still freaking out? Yes, because
yeah.
we're still retraining that whole mindset shift.
Right,
But
right.
like that was mind-boggling to me. And I think that the mentality of going, we are all in studio class in the like regular, like take that analogy and put it in real life. Like we're all living in that studio class. We are all works in progress. We're sharing that with each other. And when we do make mistakes, it is important, like you said, to make sure you look at that person instead of beating yourself up about, should have done that better. And that's easier said than done, obviously.
Yeah.
But the person calls you out on it, you go, yeah, you know what? You're right. I'm sorry. I really am. Let me make that right. I do it with kids in elementary music all the time. Like they'll come in and I'll be absolutely wrong about something and I'll realize it and I'll go, you know what? You're right. I was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry. I'm sorry I said that to you in that way. And I'm sorry I raised my voice and assumed something. I apologize. Sincerely. I think the sincerity part of it is huge too.
Yeah.
I agree.
How many, back to selfishness for a second, and just pride and growing up. How hard is it for kids to apologize to each other a lot of times?
Oh my God.
the
It's
like
pulling teeth out.
It is like looking at a kid and they're like looking over the corner. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's like Squidward, that one episode.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like he can't say it. And that is so often kids, but let's zoom out. I look at that and I go, the Lord's showing us. It's so hard to apologize. So hard to just be real and honest with people because we want to show people what we want them to see.
Yeah.
And that goes back to why people think that we're perfect.
Yeah.
And I think social media helps like in a negative way. Like
Big time.
it's like we can show people exactly what we want them to see instead of just being authentic and sincere.
Yeah, so go along with that, like going back to like the studio kind of thing. Like in a musician mindset in college, you're with that studio all the time, and so they see everything you do, and you might be one of a handful of Christians in that studio, and the rest are kind of watching you how you do as a Christian, and they might not say that out loud. They probably wouldn't say that out loud, but like it, because you have that in your head as a Christian, and they point at you when you do something wrong.
Yeah.
The next time, every other time after that, it just kind of snowballs and just keeps on. It keeps on getting that devil in the back of your head, like, oh, I got to do this perfectly now.
I literally just said that about Satan. I was literally thinking that's Satan.
Like they think I got to be perfect now. So like every single word I say, like every single action I do, I can't go hang out with certain people because they might think of something bad, or
Right.
I can't be around these people. Like that's all just the Satan and the devil playing in our minds, and it's all because of that first instance of someone pointing out, like, you're a Christian, right? Why were you like, or it's some type of connection that was negative toward Christians that are making them think that we have to be perfect. And it also kind of helps in the music world because, like, kind of going not I agreeing with what you were saying, but also going against what you were saying, kind of like having that studio mindset of perfection, like that it makes it to where everybody feels it, because a lot of the people in the studio class feel like they have to be perfect for the performances and all that stuff, and non-believers feel that as well.
Yep.
And so that gives the non-believers a chance to feel what we feel as Christians, as what they think of us as a Christian, of how we have to be perfect as a Christian.
Yep.
And so kind of another side to that story of how they could possibly perceive it.
You know, something I thought of when you were saying that is, like, in my studio class and all the studio classes at UGA, the freshmen are in the same classes as the doctoral students.
Yep.
And they are all in very, very different points of their journey. And a freshman or a sophomore may see see someone who is a grad student or even someone who's a junior and see that they're in this spot when they're in a different spot, and they may be extremely discouraged by that, right? And this kind of makes me think about like how believers see, or like maybe newfound believers see believers who are very set in everything, and it seems that they have everything together and they strive to be that, and they realize all the things that they're not doing right, and then it may cause a spiral. If it's not come across, I'm speaking out of experience because I've been in that exact position. It stinks. It's such a hard place to be, especially coming here where I didn't really know much of anything, to be honest with you. I kind of talked about it last week in my testimony. It's like I felt like I knew things, but I kind of didn't. So when I was surrounded by people who like knew all these things, and like they were like memorizing, they had memorized scripture, they had it to the back of their head, and I'm sitting here like I've never memorized scripture. Like that to me was like super discouraging, because I was like, I feel like I've been going to church for some time now. I've been performing in the church, and it's like, have I been doing it wrong? But again, going back to the idea of sanctification, and also last week we talked about how everyone's journey is different, and there's beauty in that, right? Don't be discouraged if you don't get a thing right away, or if you see people that are even younger than you who are getting the thing way quicker than you are. Everyone grows in different ways. Everyone has a different rate of growing. Trust in the Lord's plan through it.
Yep.
That's what I was thinking about when you said that.
Yeah, it's healthy to admire what other people are doing if they're successful at it.
Yeah.
It's healthy to do that, but once you take it too far, and going back to the very beginning of the podcast, like once you take it too far and you say, why can't I do that? Why am I not there? Like, right. And then it starts to hurt your practicing, and it starts to hurt your playing, or it starts to hurt your Bible reading.
Yep. It's the treadmill.
And that's pride.
Well,
right there.
You said last week, Rocky, comparison's the thief of joy.
Yeah. And I think that if you just compare, you're not looking at, like, let's put it in the music terms again. If you're looking at that doctoral student as a freshman undergraduate, and you're like, why am I not that good? You're not even considering or looking at the journey that got that doctoral student to where they are.
Yes.
And if you talked with them, this is seeking wisdom from someone who's where they're at, you admire. It would be the same thing as seeking, help from an older or more wise Christian, someone you could mentor you or disciple you. Asking them about their journey, maybe little steps. We all have to practice every day as musicians if we're going to get better, or at least frequently. Or if we want to get better at running, we have to run. We can't just not run. The same thing for as Christians. We can't expect to be in an intimate relationship with the Lord of creation if we don't open His Word and hear from Him and learn His character, right? And if we're doing that less frequently, I find that I'm less and less quicker to be sanctified. Or I find the world tugging at me more than the things. It's like what our hearts are seeking after is what we ultimately like run to. It's what what consumes our mind's eye, right? So yeah, it's about the journey. Like you have to get the full story, not just I want to be like this person. Why am I not like this person? Okay, instead of going, okay, let me ask this person why they're so successful at what I think they're successful at. And you may learn some things that will help increase your faith or musicality or whatever. Analogies are mixing, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is a good discussion. I think for mine, my take on this, what do you think is the most common misconception about Christianity to non-believers around me? I think a lot of people think that we are delusional people that are trying to cope with the fact that we're going to die. I've heard that a lot.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the pride thing that a lot of those people will. I've known people that I've cared about that have sought Christianity until it didn't serve their purpose anymore. And that's really sad to me.
Yeah.
And not that I'm saying that I'm perfect, right? I'm not saying that we're perfect. But they went from it being the thing that, they thought they should do. And then their excuse became, well, it's just, I feel like I can do this better on my own. And I think you're just coping with the fact that, we're all going to die one day. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, kind of how like they're they're seeing the same results whether they're following
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jesus or not, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I've fallen in that trap as well, right? Just like to where I've gone months without reading the Bible or switching churches all the time and not being set in one spot. And I've done that and then just going my way and everything's progressing just fine through music, and I wasn't necessarily strong in my faith. And then I've also done the opposite where I've had seasons where I'm strong in my faith and it's the same results. So it's like, it's not until, like we've talked about before, where you reflect back on it and you reflect about on God and how he's gotten everything into your life and how everything connected to it, is when you realize, like, oh, so all that really was him.
Yep. I'm formulating thoughts. Come back to me.
The Lord put it in my head just now. I've been reading through, again, I've mentioned it before, but The Awe of God by John, is it Bevere? Somebody let me know in the comments. But I just recently read a segment that had a really good question with it that kind of ties in. I've often been asked, why haven't people fallen over dead in modern times when something doesn't, like they don't honor the holiness of God?
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about Aaron's sons in the Old Testament. And he says it's a good and valid question. We continue onward, and basically, to sum it up really shortly, you should read the chapter, but delayed judgment is not denied judgment. And that was kind of the big takeaway, is like, in fact, it's actually God being gracious and patient with people that we don't see immediate, like, oh, well, if I followed God, this happened, but if I didn't follow God, I was still able to do those things. So clearly you're just coping. Or you're doing this, but I'm doing this and I'm succeeding and you're not. Well, just because outcomes look different or delayed is like it. God is going to make everything right. It's just, I think sometimes we mistake his patience and his love and slow to anger as non-existence.
Yep. I also think worldly riches are a very different thing than the riches of heaven, right?
100%.
You could be the richest person here on the planet and have no riches in heaven at all, because that's all you prioritized. Also, I formulated my thoughts more coherently based on what Dave was talking about. When concerning, like, if you're going through your faith and the thing that you're thinking about is only your afterlife, and if you're going to be living in that afterlife or not living that afterlife, I think that kind of comes from a sense of pride. You're only kind of focused on where you're going to be instead of thinking about, like, why you are there and what things were done to get you there, what was sacrificed to put you in heaven. Like, I've been in spells like where I would be thinking about those kinds of things, and then it kind of clicked one day. It's like when you kind of approach things solely from the gospel rather than, the question is, when you die, you're going to heaven or you're going to hell, right? That switch of perspective is so important, because I feel like first stage of belief is, like, that's kind of where you start, or it's where a lot of people start. It's like, if you believe in God, you go to heaven, and it's like, that's a very, like, over the surface way of approaching it, but that's
where most people start. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah. And then when you dive in further, and then it's like, you talk about the sacrifice that Jesus, you talk about Jesus and like how, like, his sacrifice on the cross is the reason that you are made free of sin. And as you get older, you realize that is a very, very significant thing. And that's why you are granted to go into heaven with him. Like, that's important.
And then it continues on past that, where you talk about the life we get to live here that's life more abundant because we draw near to him. And he's the source of everything we do. And that's that we just described sanctification. In a lot of ways, that progression. And again, not everybody's story looks exactly the same, but I found that verse from earlier, by the way. If I'm just going to insert it really quick, if nobody minds, in Matthew 9, and this is Matthew 9:10. And as Jesus reclined at table in the house, behold, many tax collectors and sinners came and were reclining with Jesus and his disciples. Verse 11. And when the Pharisees saw this, they said to his disciples, why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners? Verse 12. But when he heard it, he said, those who are well have no need of a physician, but those who are sick. Sorry, that's the end of a sentence. But those who are sick, period. Clearly, I still need Jesus because I can't read a sentence properly. Go and learn what this means. I desire mercy and not sacrifice, for I came not to call the righteous, but sinners.
Mm-hmm. And going a little bit to what Josh was saying earlier, Proverbs 16:9, it says, a person's heart plans his way, but the Lord determines his steps. I feel like a lot of the non-Christians that we talk about that has that misconception we're talking about, they do the first part, a person's heart plans his ways. But then they never do, but the Lord determines his steps.
Mm-hmm.
Or they don't recognize it, at least.
Right.
And so they always say, well, I planned this in 3-5 years, or I did this and I did this. But I never put it all for God. So, which we tend to go off and on when we do it, obviously, because we're never perfect. But the acknowledgement of, we have goals that we want to achieve, and we just put those goals to God, and He knows where we're heading already. And so He's just helping us get there, and we have to trust Him and make the right decision.
In John 15, when Jesus talks about being the true vine, and you can do nothing apart from him, I think people read that, especially as maybe not even non-Christians, but early Christians, and they go, but I got up this morning and I ate something, or I did this really hard thing before I came to Jesus, or I did X, Y, or Z. I think it's important to realize that we can do nothing of actual value that will last past our death without Jesus.
And we can also do a lot of things without awareness that he's there.
Correct. Also that. I have no power to be used by him as a vessel to increase the population through the Holy Spirit and his reach in my life, to increase that population of believers in heaven. I have no power to do that without him.
Mm-hmm.
I have no power to make lasting impact on people without him. Because if I do it in a worldly sense without him, when people die and they don't know him, that's it. When I die, it's over. Was it? I can't remember if it was. What's the sad book that we think Solomon wrote? And he's kind of bitter and older in age. Is it Ecclesiastes?
I think so.
On the job searching. We're looking it up right now. But I remember specifically there was a phrase in there where he talked about this one life we get to live.
Ecclesiastes.
Thank you.
Yep.
It's the one life we get to live on this side of heaven. It's our only opportunity to affect people, to bring them into right relationship with God. It's our only chance to be that vessel is this life. Once we die as believers, we're not going to affect people in this life. This is our one shot to live that way. And I don't have an exact verse. I just remember studying it at one point and being flabbergasted by it. But yeah. So while I try to find this, any other thoughts on this topic before we kind of close it out?
I think I've said everything that's on my mind. This is a really good discussion.
I think so too.
Yeah.
If you have any other thoughts, people in the comments we've mentioned before, go ahead and leave them. Again, we're not perfect. We're not pretending to have covered this in its absolute entirety. But yeah, let us know what your thoughts are. And it kind of becomes more of a roundtable if there's more of us talking about it. So I guess I'll end with this thought, and hopefully on this next break I'll come back and have that quote for you. But you should ask the hard questions.
Yep.
Like if you're a Christian listening to this, please ask the hard questions, because if you don't, I feel like there's always going to be that lingering question in the back of your mind, and you don't have the ability to help people. There's things we're not going to know on this side of heaven. We're not going to have perfect answers for, because we can't know everything that God knows. Mm-hmm. We can't be like him. But I think the more we try to understand and answer what we can answer, or get better clarity on it, at least increase our prescription, the optometrist a little bit,
yeah.
the better off we will be, and those around us will be, and we'll be more authentic and genuine followers of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
So, does anybody want to pray us out? I think it may be Josh's turn this week. Pray us out.
Pray for us this time.
And then I'll find that Ecclesiastes thing right after we come back from break.
All right. Sounds good. Everyone, please do as you do when you pray. Dear Father, I thank you just for this conversation that we were able to have today about questions that are hard, about questions that are challenging. I pray that the conversation that we had today motivates not just us as the hosts to fully live out the plan that you have for us, but encourages the listeners to do the same thing. And for those who are still learning, to ask those hard questions, to seek these answers, and to ultimately come closer to you in every step of their life, whether it's at work or at home or at school, wherever it may be. Let every step that they take come closer to you. We love you. We thank you for the process of sanctification, allowing us to fully learn more things about you. As John 3:30 says, as we become less and you become more apparent in our lives. Father, we love you, and we're very thankful for you and this conversation that we had today. Fresh and may I pray. Amen.
Amen. And with that, it's time for Trivia! All right, before we bring this trivia, as promised, here is that verse from Ecclesiastes. It is in Ecclesiastes 9, and it is verse 4. But he who is joined with all the living has hope, for a living dog is better than a dead lion. Just let that sink in. It's kind of a little in the margins. I said being alive is of more effect on earth than being dead.
Yeah.
So there you go. On to trivia.
And the category is space.
Space.
All right.
Space.
The final frontier.
The moon.
All right. So, if you travel, this is only 1 point, by the way. If you traveled to the planet Venus, you would experience the longest day in the solar system. In fact, a single day on Venus, one full rotation on its axis, is longer than what other major astronomical milestone on Venus?
Is there multiple choice?
No, not this time.
Oh no!
I can't wait to see your answers here in a few minutes. But I'll read it. I'll read it one more time. If you travel to the planet Venus, you would experience the longest day in the solar system. In fact, a single day on Venus, one full rotation on its axis, is longer than what other major astronomical is longer than what other major astronomical milestone on Venus? Is it
I'm with you.
Okay, you got it? Okay. I don't want to spell it out for you.
I think I'm with you.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm thinking of the right planet.
You know what? I could make it multiple choice. Do you want me to make it multiple choice?
That might be helpful.
Yeah.
All right, let me write these down so I don't forget what I gave you as multiple choice.
I didn't study this.
I didn't either. I
have an idea, but I don't know if it's what you're looking for.
I have an idea.
SpongeBob, would you please?
A. Is that astronomical event a month? B. A week? C. A year? Or D. 5 years?
Okay, I was thinking along those lines.
I was not even close.
Really glad I gave you multiple choice.
I'm glad you did too.
Thank you for bearing with our technical difficulties and my Apple Pencil not wanting to write. The answers will be at the end as always. We'll be right back with our notes section. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Grace Notes Podcast. We're into our notes section. We're talking all things music that the Lord is working in and through this week. So anybody want to kick us off?
Who's got it?
I can start it off.
David.
This week it's been short and sweet with the music side of things, mainly because it's summer. And so it's a handful of things that pop up here and there. The first one is that I got the Navy Fleet Band audition video done.
Let's go!
Yeah!
Big shout out to Rocky for coming in for 3 hours, or about 2 hours, and helping me out with it. So
I pressed some buttons and adjusted some knobs.
And danced.
There was a lot of dancing and eyes closed. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just vibing.
So, yep. I mean, it would have saved me a lot of energy from having to get up and go
yeah,
and
I'm really
record.
glad I could do that because I'm literally sitting there going, yeah, this would have been terrible if I were like a performer having to get up and like it ruins the just do the take, you know?
Yeah, so if you're doing an audition video, have someone help you out with it.
Bring a buddy.
It's so important.
So yeah, that was a huge thing, big weight off my shoulders, and I sent it to a few friends, so I know what the count on the videos should be, but the count doubled from the last time I saw it.
Oh,
so I think the Navy auditioner people have already seen my video.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
So,
Already.
I hopefully will hear back within a week. So
Praying.
yep.
Next episode, we might hear something.
Maybe. So yeah, so we'll see. I don't know. It's a venture that is fully in God because it just randomly popped up, and I already have the doctoral position landed. So it's like, well, if you want me there, I'll go. We'll see.
Yeah, right.
So, just keeping the doors open. And then the other thing I had this week is that Josh and we finally got to start the worship band.
Yes.
This Sunday, after church with two of our friends in the community group, and they're both really great singers, and it was a lot of fun on Sunday. We had lunch, and then we got to know each other at lunch some more, and then we had about an hour and a half practice session, and vibes were high. Things were going well.
Yeah.
We're doing a small acoustic set, and so no big fancy instruments needed, like a drum set or anything, just cajon. But yeah, we're really excited for it, and we're playing for our community group in a week and a half. So
Sweetness.
it'll be another fun side project to do, and I think it'll be nice and relaxing.
Absolutely. And what would your Christian song of the week be this week?
My Christian song of the week is going to be "So So Good" by Phil Wickham,
Good song.
which is possibly one of the songs we're playing. And so,
Yep.
originally I thought it was by Elevation Worship because that was the cover we were watching. But it turns out Phil Wickham just makes every single hit that we know.
It's true. It's true.
He's everywhere. I mean, he got a shout out last podcast. He's getting one this podcast.
I mentioned him like multiple times.
So, like, Phil, if you're listening, if you want to join the
Phil, you
podcast,
want to come on? That'd be great. Because doesn't
next
he?
time you're in Atlanta, come over.
come on.
Yeah, you might be recording for what was he? Did he do the animated David? Is that right? Was he the voice of David in the animated show?
I
have no idea.
I think that he was. We'll fact check that later. Let us know in the comments, but I'm pretty sure I saw that somewhere, which is pretty neat because he sings.
Cool.
There's like his music part of it. I gotta see I haven't seen the movie. I've just seen clips.
I
I've just seen clips of
I've
it.
heard of this.
We should look into that.
Yeah,
Note yourself.
fantastic group.
I'll go next. I don't mind. So for me, Cody Fry's new album just came out.
It's good.
It's really, really, really good. I'm like, oh, this is why I like classical pop. Orchestral pop, I guess is what it's called.
You're talking about the new like symphony.
He did. What is the name of the album? No, it's called. Unless you're talking about the same thing I'm talking about.
the unfamiliar Mariner.
Yeah, Mariner.
yeah.
Yes,
Mariner.
Yeah.
Mariner. My Delonica came out, sorry.
That is the place from which Josh has his origin.
I reside from that area.
Yeah, that
You
news-
couldn't see the thumbs up I just gave Josh. Sorry, that's why we're laughing so hard.
No. It's late, y'all.
It is late. This is the latest we've ever recorded. It's almost 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern. And so yeah, Cody Fry's album was amazing. So I got to listen to that and just, it's not really Christian lyrics, but just I don't know, there's something about the way it's orchestrated, and the Lord can work through any piece of music. He always has. He worked in my junior year all district band audition. Like he's spoken through multiple facets of music.
Yeah.
And it was just refreshing to hear it. Speaking of other things, Star Wars, Maul, the Maul show that's animated, it was great. But what was really cool is to hear music that emulated John Williams in an animated show.
Yeah.
Which they took the extra time to make sure that like you got a little bit of Duel of the Fates in there sprinkled in sometimes, just like little quotes from it, and Battle of the Heroes a little bit. So I just, my inner Star Wars music nerd, like it just made the moments that much more. So very, very good writing on that one.
I will watch that as soon as I finish rewatching all the Star Wars, which is a work in progress currently.
Where are you at in the watch?
We just finished episode 4.
So did you start from 1 or are you saying
No.
Okay.
The person I'm watching this with, shout out Amanda. We are starting from release.
So you did 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3?
4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3.
That's how I would do it too.
So we just finished.
No, what are you talking about? They have made 7, 8, 9. What are you
saying? The
talking?
same thing. She's like,
they don't exist as far as I can.
We started it. We finished 4 and we watched part of 5. So that's where we're at.
All right, dope. Yeah, it's a great. This is like I don't like we just kind of just hated on Disney Star Wars. I really like what Dave Filoni did with the Maul show. And I say Maul, like my wife thought I was talking about like when I said, yeah, I watched the Maul show. She's like thinking like a shopping mall. And I was like, wait, let me be clear.
The Mall Cop, the movie?
No, yeah. Darth Maul, Shadow Cop. I'm sorry. No. Can you just see those two?
Scooter.
Will someone please, if you have any like fun Canva abilities, combine both of those like movie posters together, please? That would be
Josh
great.
David. Get Josh David.
Yeah, Josh David, if you're listening, please combine Maul, Shadow Lord from Disney Plus poster and Paul Blart Mall Cop as a singular poster. But Maul has to be on the Segway or I'm not watching or looking. Sorry. Anyways, moving on, because we're so far in tangent land. Today I was walking to my car to get my lunchbox out of my trunk. And I came across someone who's a paraprofessional at school that I like got hired midway through the year. I haven't really spoken to a lot. And this person was watching a pre-Ker get some water, and I thought it said tuba on the back of their like jacket, and I was like, oh, silly me, I thought it said tuba. I went up to double take it, and this person said, oh yeah, I played sousaphone in high school, and I was like, I taught band for 5 years, like high school band, and like we just kind of got in that conversation about it. It was really cool to have that connection, and I was like, bummer, it's on the last like 4 days of school. And then this person was like, yeah, I really thought about doing DCI, and I was like, oh, really? I marched cadets. And then this person, she took my hand and like shook it, and she's like, I should be shaking your hand. And I was like, this is so cool. Like,
that's cool.
Why did we just now start talking about this? Like, it turns out she's not coming back next year.
Oh.
I think she was on borrow from somewhere. But it presented also an interesting opportunity to present the gospel, or not maybe the full gospel, but like name drop the Lord as being
the Lord.
Name drop the Lord. And so I felt that on the way, like this person walked with me out to my car, and walked back because we just had a great conversation going about band things. And it's like talking to another adult about things while you're in an elementary school for that long is, you appreciate those moments. And so like, from what I could gather, probably isn't a believer, but was able to. And again, I mentioned it earlier in the podcast, but I don't feel like I did the best job at name dropping as best I could. I tried to express that when I bought my house in Virginia, just how there's no way I could have planned how perfect it worked out in the timing of it, and how I was able to afford it all. And that was clearly, like, praise the Lord, like it was the Lord that did it. I feel like I could have been more specific in how I talked about it, but I also didn't want to just like shove Jesus down people's throats, And then the reassurance that I feel is that the Lord is working all things in his time. Yes, I need to continue to work on name dropping in the most appropriate and authentic ways, but knowing that the Lord is still using those moments, and that who knows what's going to come out of that connection, even though there's only 3 days left,
Yeah.
So continuing to talk more confidently about Jesus and the Lord and what he's done for me. So, yeah, just a cool connection to make and an opportunity to share just a story, but making sure God's getting the glory and the credit for what's going on. And even in my mistakes, that he's getting the glory, that I didn't push it maybe as much as I could have or should have. It's not about what we can do. It's about what he can do. And just rest in peace with that. So, and I think that my Christian song of the week, I was like, I'm getting the Death Stare. What is this? Not the Death Star. The Death Stare. Oh, man.
Puns are rolling in.
I just changed this a few minutes ago. That's why I was like feverishly like typing, if you heard that in the background, because I had one and then I switched it at the last minute because I heard it. Take You at Your Word by Benjamin William Hastings and Cody Carnes. Just really, really, really great.
It's a great song.
Wonderful song. I literally just came from hearing, this should also have gone in this section, just heard one of my 4th graders do a piano recital. And it was really getting to see her do that and be a part of it was really cool. And I got to go last year too, and she always invites me to make sure that I can come. It's really cool to see your teacher outside of school supporting you in something. So that was really cool. And it was in a church. So like all the opportunities to like be around,
Right.
That space and see Jesus written with big bold letters on the wall and just feel him in that, even though it wasn't directly mentioned. And somebody played "How Great Is Our God" like on piano as part of their song, as their song choice. I thought that was great. So, yeah, Jesus all around.
Jesus all around.
Into music. So
Beautiful.
That's me this week.
I guess that leaves me for this week. For me, for my notes section, I'm taking one audition virtually for Virginia. I'm recording for that this next week. I was also made aware of an audition that is coming up in Tennessee that I will probably be taking in the middle of June. So that's exciting. A lot of people in the summer, especially as like for music school students, they treat the summer as a means of, yep, this is my time to rest and, do all the things. And that's usually what I try to do for a couple of days at most. What I'm making this summer for me is, actually, quick story. Going into my master's degree, I spent the whole summer with one set routine for my warm-up, bare fundamentals. I'm talking like 50 beats per minute slow stuff. And it made a huge difference in my playing. And I'm hoping to do that again this summer, since I'm going to be in Athens for the summer, and I'm going to be able to practice more because of my new job that I got. I got the job at Olive Garden, by the way.
Olive Garden!
Yeah, Olive Garden.
Breadsticks.
Breadsticks and super salad. Not a super salad, a soup or a salad.
See, I thought it was the first one.
That's what we talked about that in orientation today. No,
I'm learning.
Yeah, I'm learning. I totally did a tangent and I forgot what I was talking about. I'm using this summer to do the same thing, where I just focus on fundamentals, get reevaluated, and hopefully come back in August. And for this competition that I've been talking about, the IHCA, hopefully use those fundamentals and that focus to really shine more at that competition. Also, I had a chamber performance yesterday at the time of this recording, and it went really well. And after the fact, me and a couple of the members got Cali and Tito's after, and it was fantastic. I love quesadillas. And then
Amen.
And then for my Christian song of the week, I picked "Giving In" by Savannah Locke. I'll read just a little bit of the lyrics here. "You make beginnings out of ends and winters into spring again. When the desert is all I see, you spring a well up in me. Oh God, I'm giving in to your love and to your grace." Just the idea of just surrender. I just like that a lot. And I think the song represents it well. Also, while I'm thinking about it, by the time this episode comes out, there will be a playlist with all of our Christian songs of the week on that playlist. I've been talking about it for a couple weeks and I have been procrastinating. It will be here by the time this episode comes out, I promise.
All right.
Wow. I was not fully expecting that commitment. All right. I was like, okay. I was like, it could be a little bit, because that's a lot of songs.
It is.
That's 3 times
I'm
almost
a dedicated
every
person.
episode.
Yep.
3 times all the numbered ones. So that's
48.
that.
Yeah.
Yep. I wonder if we have any
Nice.
duplicates yet
That's
on
the
accident. It's very possible.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Didn't we also do a secular song of the week at one point?
Yeah, I like the.
We never, like,
Wasn't that in the,
That's for
wasn't the
that's for
newsletter?
The newsletter.
That was
that's
a
been-
newsletter. That's
yeah,
right.
that's
That's
right.
right.
That's been on MIA
That's
for a
what I
little
was
bit.
thinking of.
That's okay. It will come back eventually. You know,
It will
all
come
things
back.
in its timing.
Yep.
In its
We
timing.
may we plan our steps, but the Lord establishes them. There it is.
Yep.
So we'll get there. So, guys, it's been wonderful, but now it's time to see, will we go from a 2-2 to a 3-3?
Or a 2-3. Or a.
If
a
you don't know
2-2
what we're
again.
talking about, it's
We're
the
talking
score
about-
for trivia. It's time to find out
Uh-oh.
how this is going. Question number 1 about carrots. All right. The iconic orange color of modern carrots wasn't an accident. It was a political statement. In the 17th century, Dutch growers crossbred yellow and red carrots to cultivate a bright orange variety. Which royal ruling family were they trying to honor with this new vegetable? This is answer 1A. Flip them and read.
hold on.
Oh, hold on.
Hold on.
David's putting
I
down a
misheard
last
the
minute
question.
answer.
I misheard the question.
Oh no.
I know my answer is wrong, but I'm proud of my answer regardless.
All right. I'm going to let David finish reading for the sake of fairness.
Yes,
I don't
yes.
believe that he would cheat in this.
Okay.
All right. Flip him and read. What do you got?
I said the Carrington family.
The Carrington family. All right. What do you got, David?
I said the carrots.
The
All right. You guys are going to be kicking yourself after this. The answer is the House of Orange from Nassau.
Oh my god.
You know,
on.
specifically
You gotta be kidding me.
William of Orange.
I was gonna write William. Would I have gotten half credit for that?
I probably would have given you half a point for that.
Oh.
The fact that you would pick William out of all the names to put down. Okay, but remember, there's a part B to this.
Thank the Lord.
Before what century? So like 1800s, 1900s, 2000s, etc. Before what century did orange carrots not exist? Because they had not crossbred them yet.
I put the
Closest gets the point.
1700s.
Okay, what did you put?
I also put. Well, I said it the 18th century, which is also the same thing.
I'll give you both the point because it was the 1600s.
Hey! We both got a
Before the 1600s.
before.
You're at 3-3.
All right.
So, before the 1600s, almost all cultivated carrots were purple, yellow, or white. Dutch farmers who were leading the world in agriculture at the time bred orange mutant strain to show patriotism during the Dutch fight for independence from Spain. The color stuck and it became the global standard that we eat today.
Interesting.
Assuming
I didn't hear you say a specific century in the question whenever you asked the question earlier, so that's why I had to change it.
that's fair. That's
I
fair. That's
see.
fair. All right, question number 2, space. If you traveled to the planet Venus, you would experience the longest day in the solar system. Ooh.
Day.
In fact, a single day on Venus, one full rotation on its axis, is longer than what other major astronomical milestone on Venus? Your multiple choices are A, month, B, week, C, year, or D, 5 years. Slip them and read.
What you got, David?
I said C here.
I also said C.
You're both at 4-4, boys. Hey, oh, it was a year. What would you have put if you didn't have multiple
I
choice?
wrote year down before. I promise you. That was the one I was thinking of before it came up with
I didn't know what the word meant, so I had no idea what it
Whew. Well, tied it up at 4. This may be the most amount of points we've had in a season of trivia.
Maybe.
Is this the first time where we both got...
Are tied and both got part of
a
both.
question
Yeah, I may
correct?
be. Historians, give us a Grace Note historians. Leave us a comment and let us know.
Yeah.
But I think that there's one more episode of my
The Carrots.
the carrots. Print the brackets.
William Carrots.
William Carrots.
Triviers.
Bracket these, bracket those. Yeah, you have one more set of questions.
In this season of Rocky trivia.
Yes.
Who will take it out? It's a really close game, and by that I
Yeah.
mean it's exactly the same. So
Then I guess it'll be me again.
Yep, it will be you after this with the brand new David theme.
Ooh. I don't know what it sounds like yet in the present day. We'll soon see. You'll know when it comes out. All right. So, boys, it's a pleasure as always. Let's go and get some sleep now. We're all very tired,
Please.
and hopefully it didn't come through too much on the podcast. So I guess without further ado, I'm Rocky.
I'm Josh.
And I'm David.
And this has been Grace Notes. We'll see y'all next week. Stay around after the end.
Grace Notes.
Check 1, 2, 3. This is a test of the Grace Notes podcast team.
Podcast.
Grace Notes.
Grace Notes.
You want it
Grace
closer,
Notes.
Josh? You look like you're like eating off. You look like you're eating off of like a fish hook. You're like,
Like a giraffe eating a leaf.
Grace Notes Podcast. Grace.
You guys seen the sea lion?
Yes. No. I actually haven't.
Everybody do the sea lion. And the dance that goes with it. Oh no, it's better than that.
Oh, what is it? Do you actually see a lion?
One day we will.
What is this? Oh,
Oh, it's
I've seen
that.
this.
Cramp.
Oh no! What do you need?
You didn't have a banana
This
today.
was a mistake.
You didn't have a banana.
Don't eat and swim, kids.
No.
This is not as bad.
Time for another hill run.
Time for a daily dose of
bus.
time for a daily dose of bananas for Rocky.
I ate my banana this morning.
Eat your potassium, kids. If this does not go to the end of the podcast,
I would have picked up.
That was just perfect timing.
that was insane. It goes like this. Ow! You gonna be all right, boss? Do you need water?
Medic. My leg.
Have you tried drinking
Literally.
water?
My leg.
My leg.
My leg.
My leg.